Kevin Durant.
Inside those lines, I come to bring it every day. I knew at some point in my life that it'll come around for me.
Curry inside. Oracle Arena has erupted. Green alley-oop. Iguodala once again. Curry, three, bang! There it is. Redemption for Golden State. One of the great playoff runs of all time is complete. The Warriors are NBA champions again.
Obviously, we were heartbroken last year, but this year was our turn. We're obviously quite happy.
To be back in this position, be world champs again, it's unbelievable.
All right, back here on SportsCenter with Bruce Bowen and Ryan Russillo, three-time NBA champion Bruce Bowen. So we're going to start with you. Steph Curry, transcendent NBA Finals any other year, but he doesn't get the Finals MVP award because Kevin Durant was that much better. Let's focus on Steph. What stood out to you?
Well, his consistency. He didn't have to set other guys up, whereas that was the issue in the season before. You know, late in the game, I remember him throwing the ball to Anderson Varejao. Now, Varejao is not a scoring big man, but he is an option on the floor, but maybe not your first or second option if Steph has the ball. And it was just indicative of the way the series went. The behind-the-back left-hand pass to Klay Thompson that goes out of bounds. He needed help in finishing. And Kevin Durant was definitely that help, which allowed him not to have to be the initiator of the offense, as well as trying to find ways to score as well.
I thought he read the defense of Cleveland brilliantly last night. And Cleveland has gone out of their way, I think, to stop Curry before they even wanted to stop Durant. And that's because he's the ball handler, and they were sending traps at him, and he was reading these traps. And he also was attacking more last night as they were trying to close this thing out than we saw at the end of the series last year. So I thought he was terrific. The shooting was great. He had the one bad game really in Game 4, but he and Durant were both about 20 in the first half. So, I mean, it's too bad he's overshadowed because of how good he was, but we all kind of get why it happened because it's Durant and Durant being new to the team.
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, he almost averaged a triple-double as well. He was rebounding more. I had never seen him rebound like that. So it was evident that he took pride in not just shooting the basketball, but also being consistent in every other way as he could.
All right, let's put in perspective what this run over the last 3 seasons looks like historically for the Warriors. They're 254 and 54. That's the win-loss. That's a win percentage of 82.5. That surpasses what Michael Jordan did with his best Bulls teams, 95-98. That win percentage, 81.6. Now, for the best record over a 3-season span in NBA history, that now belongs to the Warriors, which is where we continue now. 2 championships over those 2 years. Bulls got the 3 straight titles. I think that's maybe what a lot of people point to if they want to give the advantage to Chicago. How does this Warriors team, Bruce, compare to those Jordan teams?
Well, I think with those Jordan teams, it wasn't necessarily about a tremendous scorer coming on board with them. I think at that time it was Dennis Rodman, a guy that knew his role and said, okay, I'll do these other things and let Scottie and Michael do the things that they do on the floor. When you talk about the Golden State Warriors, it is the addition of Kevin Durant that has just really allowed them to be so much better. Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time as far as I'm concerned, but even with that, they had a unit that stayed together and they got it done together.
I like this Warriors group better. I know that with the 3-2 rings thing, I'm not allowed to say that, but
no, you're allowed. You're allowed to.
When I look at who Cleveland was, especially the last 2 years in the finals, this LeBron team this year, what they did coming back from 3-1, those Cavs teams are superior to the Utah teams and Seattle teams that Chicago went up against for that run.
What about that? The Supersonics team specifically, you think this Cavs team against that Seattle team? Head and shoulders?
Well, yeah. I just think they're better.
All right,
you
so
think
these
the
Warriors.
Sonics?
No,
well,
I would take Gary Payton and the Rain Man.
Yeah.
He just throw it up
well,
in
you're
the air.
forgetting about Detlef Schrempf, which is insulting.
Would you let me get there?
No. Next question. Warriors.
Then.
Heavy favorites. They're 1-2 favorites to now repeat as NBA champion. Bruce, you know how difficult that is. Ryan, the core, though, big 4 there for Golden State, 29 years or younger. What are the chances that this is the beginning of a 3 straight title dynasty here?
Sports can always surprise us, right? So as much as we're sitting here, we're going to be doing this at exactly 365 days, talking about the Warriors doing it again. On paper, it looks good for 2 years because Klay is under contract, the shortest term and all that. Curry's going to get all his money. Durant's going to get a little creative, and he's even said so he can keep some of the other role players around. But Klay is up in 2 years. Then we can start talking about whether or not this thing is going to go 5 straight years. People saying 5, 7 straight finals now. I mean, that's just... All I can tell you, in doing this long enough, there's so many times we say, yep, that's definitely going to happen, and then it doesn't.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma felt that they would get back to the finals after they got in there that first time, and no one saw an injury happening with Kevin Durant. No one saw James Harden being traded. So you never know what happens until you start playing this game continuously.
Back to those Sonics teams that Ryan was besmirching earlier.
Eric Snow coming off the bench.
They thought they were getting back as well. Sam Perkins, the whole thing. Y'all forgot about Detlef.
No.
5 titles for the Warriors, tied with the Spurs of Bruce Bowen fame for 4th most in NBA history. Guys, thank you.